Welcome back. We to preview Tuesday evening's Premier League match between Arsenal and Leicester at the Emirates. Pascal, start with the home side into the match on the back of a 2-1 defeat of Spurs last time out.
We obviously ended their 5-game winning streak, and obviously really disappointing to lose to your big North London rivals. And I think they did deserve to lose that game. They obviously got us to a great start. Ozil putting them ahead. It looked like he might have been offside, and I think the replay showed that his left foot might have just been off. But I think the linesman was probably right to let it go because it was so close, and obviously a decent finish for him. But they never really built on it, did they? Spurs took control of the game, and obviously both goals coming in the second half from Harry Kane. He's on absolute fire at the moment. I mean, they'll look at the first one. I think it was quite avoidable, obviously coming from a corner, a set piece. But the second one was just a great goal from Kane. The cross came in, he pulled off the defender, and it's a brilliant header back across goal. We couldn't really do much about that, but Arsenal, obviously, I think they did deserve to lose that game, and obviously it was a big game in the race of the top four as well. Obviously, both sides, they went into that game on really good form, and Arsenal, they're now sixth in the table, but with Man U only drawing with West Ham, they're still only 2 points off the top four in six, so not too bad at the moment, but obviously really disappointing to lose to your big rivals.
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing in the fact that it is so close at the top now, isn't it? Southampton obviously won, and you're thinking it's going to be Southampton, Spurs, Arsenal maybe around that top, aren't you? Liverpool obviously hoping to push as well. Arsenal will be glad to be back at home. Obviously they beat Villa 5-0 at home last time out, didn't they? They've won 7 at home. Only lost one, that was against Manchester United, and they probably deserved to win that game, didn't they? It was quite sort of a smash and grab for United, to say the least. And they've got a decent run of games now, Arsenal. When you look at the rest of the challengers for the top four, United, Southampton, Spurs, all got tough games. I mean, Spurs go to Liverpool this week, and they've also got some tough games to come. I think Arsenal have got a lot of games at home against teams they are expected to beat, and they usually win those games, don't they? Likes of Stoke, Villa, they've done it this season quite comfortable. It's a really tough ask for Leicester against Arsenal, who obviously are at home, crowd behind them, and they went to the matches, but obviously big favourites.
Definitely, and Wenger, he's got a selection issue, hasn't he? I mean, at the weekend he dropped Theo Walcott. He played well in the week before against Aston Villa, but he brought in Danny Welbeck. I think it was for his defensive qualities. He started him on the right, sort of to counter Danny Rose's up and down game, and he did okay there. But obviously Alexis Sanchez, he's now fit again for this one. Wenger said he is available for selection after missing the last 2 games, and you'd expect him to come back in. He's been their best player this season, and I think Welbeck will be the one to drop out. I expect Sanchez to come in. I think it's hard to drop Ozil at the moment. He's playing really well. Obviously Giroud's scoring goals up front as well, so I think Sanchez will come back in that attacking force, and that's obviously just bad signs for Leicester. Welcoming back one of the Premier League's top 3-4 players this season, so worrying signs for Leicester that Sanchez is back, and most people will be backing him to score in this game as well.
That's right. Yeah, obviously moving on to Leicester, it was obviously a tough game last time out against Palace. Palace have been in good form under Pardew, to be fair, but Leicester at home, those are the games you expected to win. I think last week they discussed their run of form coming up, which I think you're going to discuss after this, and it's really tough, isn't it? And when you're at home against teams like Palace, with all respect, you need to be winning those games, or at least not getting beat. And it was a disappointing game. Again, Nigel Pearson went for an attacking formation, never quite worked. Did it? It was Joe Lilly who got the goal, and you never really thought Cambiasso had little bits and bobs around the box, but you never felt that they were going to get it back. And obviously, I left them bottom of the table, 4 points from safety. They're still not cut adrift. Usually, you get one team this stage of the season cut adrift, don't you? That's not really the case. But if they get beat here, and they lose the next couple of games, it can easily become too much to ask for Leicester. And you look at their team, and there's not really enough goals. No one's really scoring too many at the moment, and obviously they've been 4 away from home this season.
And obviously there was the Nigel Pearson incident, wasn't there? It's a weird situation. Obviously, James McCarthy sort of collided with him on times. They sort of fell over together, and then Pearson sort of throttled him. He did put 2 hands around his throat, and he was smiling while he was doing it. McCarthy was grinning as well. It's a very strange situation. But when you get photographed, with the face, he's right there in his face with the hands around his throat. I'm sure there was no malice in it at all. But then he was pulling his shirt off, was trying to say something. McCarthy just wanted to get away from the situation. It was a very weird situation. Obviously, Pearson, they are bottom of the table, and then the reports came out last night, all the major news outlets reporting that, Pearson had gone, and then Leicester came out with a statement quite late at night, about 10 o'clock, I think it was, saying, contrary to reports, he hasn't gone, he is still the manager, and we're focusing on the trip to Arsenal, so, he's still there, but, if they lose this, as we probably expect them to, against one of, the top teams in the league, he could be gone after this one. At the weekend, they go to Villa, in the FA Cup. That's a big game for them in the Cup because, their league form obviously hasn't been great. If they can go through to the quarterfinals of the Cup, that'd be a boost for them. And maybe, with all the teams that have gone out in the competition, they could get a decent draw if they go through. And obviously Villa, that's a winnable game because that's one of the teams, down there in the Premier League with them. But, you said about their upcoming fixtures, they then go to Everton, they go to Manchester City, in their next 2 league fixtures after they face Arsenal. So it really is tough for them, and it's hard to see them getting out of the drop at the moment.
They've been poor away from home this season. They've only won twice, lost 9. It's not really been good enough overall. Can you see them getting anything from this game? It's a tough ask.
I don't at all. I think Arsenal will be sort of on the backlash after losing to Spurs, and Leicester, on the road, like you say, they haven't been great on the road. So I think Arsenal will be a comfortable win for them, and we'll go 4-1.
4-1. I'm actually going to agree with the 3-goal score. I'm just going to go 3-0. I think it'll be comfortable. Both back in comfortable wins for Arsenal. Thanks for joining us.